Hey, Troy.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I was looking at some of your older YouTube videos just in preparation for this interview,
Okay.
and I realized like you're an OG influencer, YouTuber. Like you've
Yeah.
been at this for so long that do you look back at that time fondly? Do you look back and say, "Wow, I really accomplished a lot when I was doing YouTube"?
I mean, I look back on it, it's sort of like watching home videos from when you were a kid. It's like you remember it, but it's like kind of vague and it feels like a different person, but it also feels like you. And it was such a fun time. Like when I was doing it, it was, that was like I think maybe the second wave of like YouTubers. There was like the first wave where it was like Fred and uh,
Right.
like Charlie Bit My Finger and all of that. And then there was like us, and we sort of caught this wave, a whole bunch of us. And it was so fun because we were all really, really, really tight at the time. And like we got to travel and like the idea of a like something like VidCon, or it was all
Right.
just so new and so
Yeah.
exciting. And so yeah, it was like that kind of feels like it was my like high school experience or something.
Yeah. Do you miss the fact that you didn't really go to high school or traditional school? Do you wish that you did, or are you happy that you know what you missed out on? You didn't really miss out on much.
Well, I mean, I went to a normal school till year nine, which I think it was like 14 when I stopped. So I felt like I'd kind of had the experience. And then also because I started homeschooling, it wasn't like I was making a ton of new friends. So I actually stayed friends with all of my school friends. Like
Wow.
I was still going to all the house parties and all of the stuff outside.
Right.
I still went to like the ball, like our prom. One of the girls from the school invited me to go. So like I kind of feel like I had all of the fun experiences and like none of the annoying parts. So
Right.
I was happy.
You got very lucky with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was watching your vlog about your time in New York City at the BMAs, at the Met Gala.
Mm,
First, how was it being back on stage performing?
crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like I have been like since I got back to America, it's been like just pure adrenaline for the last like month. Like it was such an overstimulation of my brain because I think I had gotten used to being alone in Australia, like at my house, riding my bike every day, and like it was just such a slow pace,
Yeah.
which I really, really, really fell in love with and loved, and I can't wait to go back. But then it was really cool as well to like get back and be like, oh wait, this like previous life of mine
Yeah.
pre-COVID, it wasn't like a dream, it wasn't some sort of like fantasy that I made up. Like this is actually happening. And yeah, I kind of just like jumped right back in, and suddenly I was like at the Met, and it was really crazy. I was like FaceTiming my parents afterwards, and yeah, just it felt crazy. It was cool.
Yeah, it almost seemed like you almost picked back up right where you left off before the
Mm,
pandemic. I mean, you've had quite the year with your song with Casey Musgraves, the song with Regard and Tate McRae, which we'll
mm.
talk about the music side of your year in a minute. But tell me, is there any behind the scenes stuff at the Met Gala that we the people don't see? I mean, I know your phones are taken away, and then we see this picture of you, in front in the stall, and then we find out that Rihanna told you to take that picture. Is that true?
So yeah, I mean the cool thing about the Met, I think like the coolest thing about the Met is that no one's allowed to bring plus ones. So
Ah,
everyone, you speak to all of these people who you're like terrified of because
right.
they're, you've watched them your whole life, or you know who they are or whatever. And everyone's in the same boat of like, who do you know here? Like, do you have any friends? Like, can we hang out?
Right.
And so it's really nice. It's sort of like this equalizer where for those few hours, everyone is just down to like hang out and be, it feels like a really safe place to kind of like let loose and have fun and make friends. And as for that picture, I I was going to the bathroom. I bumped into Tom Daly on the way, the
Do you know
diver.
him?
Yeah, we had met like a couple of days before, and I was like, I'm gonna go pee, and he was like, okay, I need to pee too. So we walk to the boys' bathroom, and for some reason, Rihanna is holding the door open for us. So I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And then I said to her, I was like, oh, I just walked in the Fenty show. Thank you so much for having me. And she was like, I know all this stuff. We were talking about that for a bit. And then it was my first time wearing a dress. So I said to her, I was like, how do I pee in this? Like, would you
Right.
have advice? And she was like, just hike it up. So I was like, okay. So I walked up to the urinal and I pulled it up, and she goes to Tom, take a picture, take a picture. So Tom Daly gets this photo of me peeing at the urinal. And I'm happy because I feel like that's one of those moments where I feel like I would have been like, is that really like what happened, or is my memory,
Right.
like deceiving me? But there is photographic evidence of the moment, which is nice.
I think the craziest part of that is that Rihanna was holding the door open.
Yeah,
Like,
why? Why? I don't know. I don't know what she was doing in there. It was cool. Like, it was like her, ASAP, Timothy Chalamet. Like, everyone, the boys' bathroom was like, it was going off for some reason.
wow. Who was at your table at the Met Gala?
I was seated with Billie Eilish and Phineas and Dan Levy and Maisie Williams. It was a really fun table. Some people from Vogue. It was cool.
That sounds like a pretty amazing table.
Right. We were having a good time. And the Vogue guy, Michael, he was like, tequila shots for the table, please. And we were all like, we were going for
nice.
it. Yeah.
Nice. You made quite the statement with the dress that you wore, and it was talked about all over social media. Were you uncomfortable with the reaction to it, to how people were perceiving you wearing a dress?
Not really. It was weird. It was like, I think before I'd seen the sketches and stuff like that, and I knew that I was excited about it, and I kind of thought I was going to feel a little out of my comfort zone because I'd never worn a dress like in public before. And it was strange, I put it on and I felt, it didn't feel like I was like playing a character or like doing drag, or, it gave me no sort of like, no feeling of being out of my body at all. I felt really, really present. I felt really like myself, and I felt really cool. I learned a lot. It's like not the last time you're going to see me in a dress. I think it just like further confirmed something that I already knew, which was like, to me, clothing is not gendered, and like, like just have fun with it. Like, why put so much, emphasis on it? It was cool.
And first of all, you looked great in the dress, but I mean, the fact that people were talking about it is enough to be like, maybe I am doing something right,
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's just like anyone can wear a dress, and I highly implore everyone to, because I felt cool, and not only did I feel cool, but like I felt something that I didn't expect was I felt like hot. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like it was just a cool moment where I was like, I don't know, I was wearing these like really high platform shoes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had this little tiny handbag, and I just felt like powerful,
Wow.
It was nice.
Did you get any numbers after the Met Gala?
The only number that I got, no, not the only one, but one of the waiters at the Met. Yeah,
Wow.
it was funny. He was really nice. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned the Savage Fenty fashion show that you walked in. Is it nerve-wracking to be on display like that? I mean, I would be out of my mind. I don't know if I can do something like that, but for you've modeled before, but you've also expressed, having some body issues and body image issues. But how was that walking in that?
I mean, I think that show specifically, like above any other fashion show or fashion moment, it's like I was looking around and seeing all these people that looked so good. Like everyone was feeling themselves. I could tell that everyone felt hot that day.
Yeah.
And there was all body types and all genders, and it just like was such a diverse group of people, and everyone looked hot and everyone looked cool. And so it really like, it gives you permission to like love yourself for that second and be like, no, you know what, like this is me, and this is like everyone deserves to feel that kind of, that like sex appeal, I guess. And so, yeah, in that moment, I felt like confident, which was nice.
Wow. Now, does Rihanna reach out to you directly, or her people says, hey, we want you to be a part of this? Who calls you?
Well, so that's the thing. So it was definitely her people, and in the thing they were like, oh, Rihanna has requested, and I'm like, yeah, right, right. I'm like, some casting director was like, oh, we need like a gay person, let's get Troye. And but then when I saw her at the Met and we spoke about the show, I actually did get a sense that like I believed it a little bit. Like I feel
Wow.
like she's so involved in that show. That show is so her vision and so her, that it felt genuine. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's possible. When people throw out the term gay icon, right? And sometimes they call you an icon. I mean, you've been around with your YouTube days, with your acting career, with your music. Do you feel like you're an icon?
No.
Okay.
No. I think, you know, like I don't know. I mean, like there's so many people that I would say truly are icons before myself. So yeah, no. But I mean, it's of course flattering and nice and everything like that, but it's not reality.
It's not true.
No.
So you had a very busy year with music. Earlier this year, you released a song with Casey Musgraves and Mark Ronson produced it. Also, one of my favorite songs of the year with Regard and Troye Sivan, You. These releases and the music that you've been releasing, and we'll talk about Angel Baby, has it been good getting out all of that that creative energy that you weren't able to get out during this pandemic and during the quarantine?
Yeah, so my EP I wrote right before COVID. And so we just kind of put it out during COVID. And I got to be honest, that was kind of a strange experience because like normally when you're releasing, there's all of these really like tactile ways, you know, triggers that make you realize that you're releasing music. You know, you play a show and like
Right.
you, I don't know, there's just like real life. You can feel the music in real life, basically. Whereas like releasing the EP, I just sort of was like posting tweets and putting up Instagrams and then it was like out in the world, you know? And so only a couple of weeks ago when I played in New York for the first time, did I realize like, okay, wow, like, you know, I put out some music since the last time I did this and it was really fun to kind of sing those songs live for the first time. But as for the collaborations, like, yeah, that was me trying to basically like stay creative and stay inspired in a way that in the best way that I could. You know, I had a really hard time writing music over the pandemic. And so, you know, getting these songs that had already kind of started without me, and then being able to kind of like put my spin on it, that felt like the best way for me to remain creative and remain like, you know, keep singing basically.
Yeah.
With the, you know, restrictions that I had at the time.
How was it working with Casey?
Oh my God, I love her so much.
Everybody, yeah, I hear that a lot. People love her.
I don't know. Great. People know that she's funny.
Oh.
She's really, really, really funny. And she's just so nice. And like, I mean, it goes without saying how talented she is. And, you know, I think that song was like a really healing song for both of us. You know, we were both kind of going through a lot at the time. And so it was nice to kind of come together. And then also we filmed the music video, which was so fun because it was like, I feel like Casey really trusted myself and Bardia, the director. And we kind of like, we just had a really fun day. And then it was really nice because her and Bardia went on to make, I think all of the music videos for this album that she's done with Bardia. So it was like, it was cool. I think it was just like a nice moment where we all just had a really great time working together.
Did you give her any advice on her SNL performance on how to, because you did SNL. Did you give her any?
Surely she's done SNL before. I don't know. I think she has. I'm sure she has. But no, I would never. I don't think I'd give Casey advice for anything. She's like, I want to take advice from her. You know?
So let's talk about the song Angel Baby. What a beautiful record. And when I heard it, I thought I felt like I pictured a scene in an 80s movie with two people dancing. The spotlight is on them. When you were writing that song, is that what you were envisioning?
Well, so this
kind of works.
Yeah, no, totally. I feel that. I think this is another way of like trying to stay creative with the, you know, within the confines of COVID. That chorus already existed. My friends wrote it, Sarah and Jay Hart and Jason. And so they sent it to me And I was like, wait, this chorus, I feel like it has existed for all of time. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like one of those things where it's like, this is nostalgic, and it's like, you can sit by the end of the first listen of the song, you can sing along, because it's like, you know, it just, for some reason, it's one of those choruses that feels like it's always existed. And so then for me, it was like, the question is, okay, is there a way where I can around it through the verses, and I wrote the bridge as well. How can I tell the story that I want to tell around this chorus? And so I was kind of unsure if I could pull it off, but once I wrote the verses and the chorus, it felt like me, and it felt like it told the story that I wanted to tell, and it felt kind of just like a fantasy, you know. And so yeah, now we put it out.
Was it a fantasy that you drew from personal experience or the experience of others?
It's a full-fledged fantasy. Like, it definitely hasn't happened. You know, I think it's one of those things where it's like the verses set up this thing of, you know, I was on the brink of giving up on finding love, and then this is where the fantasy kicks in, where it's like, out of the blue on a rainy night, someone just like appears and like sweeps you off your feet, you know. And like it's that fantasy. And so yeah, I'll let you know once it happens.
Okay, you wrote a song yesterday, or you tweeted about writing a song yesterday that you liked a lot. Is it a song, an upbeat song, a song that's going to make us cry, be in our feels? Give me some insight.
Well, so it was weird because it's definitely not a happy song.
Okay.
No, and I was fine when I was writing it. I wrote it quite quickly, and you know, it felt really good to write it. And then I came home, went to bed, and I started playing it yesterday morning and listening to it just to kind of see if I wanted to make any changes. And then for some reason, the waterworks started, and I was like, oh damn, like I really, really like this song. Like I really, because it's one thing, you know, I think it's like, if you I think a lot of the time songwriting is about trying to say something, right? Like, you're trying to communicate what you're trying to say. But more than that, I think where like the magic is the combination of like the production, the melody, and the lyrics. When those three things all simultaneously are all communicating a feeling that you couldn't just say in the lyrics, or you couldn't just say in the melody, or you couldn't just say in the production, when they all kind of like work together and they're all pushing this feeling, that's when I, as a fan of music, I'm listening and I'm like, this makes me feel something. You know, it's like, it's more than just like listening to the lyrics and understanding what the person is telling me.
Right.
It's like, I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? And that's always the goal. And I was just really excited about this song. Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the song will be on your next project, which we don't have an idea of when we're going to get an album or, you know, something like that, but soon, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the next couple of months are going to be really, really interesting, I think.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and get in the studio as much as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be like another single, then another single, and then maybe I'll do a whole new album. I don't really know. I know that I want to make an album though. I'm not going to make another EP. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been interesting to see your career evolve from what you've done as a child to now as an adult, with your fashion and music and acting. And do you take a look at your career and say, I've accomplished a lot? Do you take a time to appreciate what you've accomplished so far?
You know, it's weird. I think what COVID did is it made me realize that like the accomplishments are not necessarily the work achievements. It's like, it's the fact that I get to do this as every day, you know, and it's like, and it's the fact that I can like go and spend 2 months in Australia with my family if I want. And, you know, like it's the sort of, yeah, like that kind of lifestyle of being able to go into the studio and write music and call it my job, and then like fly home and be with my family and be with my friends, and like be able to like, I don't know, spend time designing my house. And like, I just, it's that sort of like freedom that feels like the biggest, you know, the thing that makes me the most happy. So yeah, I just feel really, really, really lucky. Like, I don't know, I I think as well for, you know, when I first got into this, I was like, whoa, this is going crazy.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be like a really crazy 3 years of my life, you know? And like, I don't know. Now I feel like I've been doing it for a long enough time where I'm like, this is a journey that's like changing and it's got all these twists and turns and I can't really predict where it's going. And so I'm just grateful that it's like still going. Like I thought I was going to be like a little moment, you know, and then it was gone. And now I'm really happy because I'm still so excited and I'm still loving it all so much and still just like so thankful to the people that, you know, are listening to the music or, you know, just like coming to the shows and supporting me. It's like, it's a really, really, really special thing. And I'm very grateful for it.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Troye. Love the song Angel Baby. It's available now and looking forward to more music from you and more projects, whatever those projects are.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too. Hopefully we talk soon when the album comes out, whenever that is.
Let's do it. Promise.
Love it. Thanks for talking, Troye.
See ya.
Bye.